This is going to be an unpopular video, but it's the truth. Advanced Warfare is not a bad game, and in some respects, it's even a good game. Wait, before you all unsub and tell me to go fuck myself, there are a few caveats that I have to concede that shape my opinion. One is that I like saying things that people don't like, let's be honest, I just get a kick out of it. The second is that my opinion is based on playing the game on PC, where I get all the frames imaginable, 144Hz Superman vision, and the benefit of mouse and keyboard. With that said, here are my reasons for thinking AW isn't actually bad. I've long thought that skill-based matchmaking, gun variants, and the movement take away from the fun of this game. I'm sure most of you will agree with me. AW is not the most popular game amongst long-term COD fans, but let's analyse what I just said. Skill-based matchmaking, for those of you who don't know, although who wouldn't at this fucking point of the year, has always been in Call of Duty. Now, with this game, it seems to be implemented more harshly, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. The reason the game feels so much sweatier is down to one reason and one reason alone. The game is actually harder. Harder for you, Mr. Scuff MLG wannabe, and yes, harder for the Schwantz too. One of the traits that marks all good COD players is their extensive use of something I call mental imaging. It's what influences decision making, where and how a player moves around the map, and how they respond to unseen enemy spawns. To explain it simply, a good player takes in all the data they can, such as minimap information, sound, kill markers, etc., to build a picture in their head of where the enemy could be. Great players do this more naturally and with greater frequency, essentially taking a picture of the map in their head many times a second. That process alone will give you an advantage in Call of Duty even before we get to aim or reactions. Now, those skills are still relevant in Advanced Warfare, but very much more difficult than in previous games. Why is that? Well, the movement. The movement in Advanced Warfare makes taking those mental images a lot harder, as people can now move in 3D as opposed to the traditional 2D plane. So when you're playing the game, your brain is actually trying to do a much more complex process. It requires more effort, and hence why people say the game is more sweaty. The brain is essentially having to do more maths. It could be that skill-based matchmaking is a factor. Just take a look at any of the thumbless wonders people go against with a reverse boosted account. But it's the actual nature of the game that makes every lobby feel like a challenge, because frankly, it is. There was a time on console that I hated AW. That has much more to do with how hard it is actually to control this game on a pad than anything else. One criticism I feel is totally legitimate towards Advanced Warfare is that playing it on console without a scuff or equivalent is a total fucking waste of time. Since I play with mouse and keyboard now, that's not an issue for me. Now the variant issue. Something like this is always going to be difficult to defend when there's a pay-to-win element involved, so I won't waste much of my time. I find the concept of variants exciting, I have to admit, but as soon as you could just buy chance packs, then it became less exciting to me. I like the idea in principle, but I agree with most of you who don't like advanced supply drops. To variant critics, you can't deny that it has built hype, excitement, and added spice to prestiging. I suppose in summary, this is how I feel. I enjoy the game, but I can't play it to the same extent as previous CODs. It's just a hair too difficult for me to enjoy casually. When I say difficult, I don't mean I'm shit. I mean it takes too much concentration just to play the game. One considerable downside of the game for me is that unless you have a decent variant of the BAL, the ASM-1, or the Insanity, you might as well be using harsh language. The gun viability selection is way too small. I'm not even going to debate that. I made this video because I recently played Ghosts after playing some AW. It was so fucking easy, I couldn't believe it. It felt like I was having a coffee break at work, like I was just dicking about. And that is why I can see people not liking it. It's just not easy enough to be considered a Call of Duty game. Later, figs.